Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of An Apple a Day, sponsored by You Define Wellness. I'm Denise O'Malley, the founder of You Define Wellness, and this is my opportunity to have a chat with one of the providers that is in our network. These are wellness professionals encompassing more than 130 different modalities, and we want to bring the wellness topics to you so that you can see the possibilities for yourself. And today I'm very honored to introduce you to my friend, Rhonda Bolich-Lampo with the WELLthy People. Hi, Rhonda. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, Denise. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you taking the time here.
Oh, this is my pleasure, honestly. And it has been such a joy to watch your progress. And from I think when you and I first met, it was you were thinking about writing a book, and then you were writing a book, and the next thing we knew, you were a published author, and watching the evolution of the WELLthy People.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the book in a couple of minutes, but let's talk first about what it is that you do
Sure.
when you're meeting with clients. What is it, Rhonda, all about?
So I'm really a health and lifestyle specialist. My mantra is kind of like, if you don't have your health, you can't have a life or a lifestyle. So I'm a believer in taking care of our health first, and I consider it our number one asset. Some people think their car or their house is their number one asset. I'm a believer in our health is. And so a lot of times we take it for granted, and a lot of times we have a lot of stress and overwhelm going on in our lives, and that directly correlates to what kind of health situation or level of health we have going on at any particular segment in our lives or day or week or month that we have going on. So I like to start by addressing stress and overwhelm with my clients, and then morphing into health and how that affects lifestyle.
So you spell wealthy, WELLthy.
Yes.
Explain why.
So it's a play on words. One, because of health and wellness, and then two, because of the number one asset being your health. So it's really the health and wealth aspect of our lives. And some people get it, other people don't at all. And so I've owned that business name for about 15, maybe going on 20 years now.
Wow.
And so it's morphed over the years into different aspects of my business and what I'm doing, like you mentioned earlier with the book. So, yeah.
So when someone comes to work with you, they read your profile on our You Define Wellness website, or they go to your website, or they've met you at a networking group, and they're like, okay, yeah, Rhonda, I think you might be able to help me with something. How do you work with them?
So my first step is really a get acquainted call. It's a complimentary private conversation that we have so that I can really delve into what situation, what stress and overwhelm they might have going on, what health issues they might have going on, because it is private. Our health is private, and a lot of times people have things going on that they don't necessarily want to share in a networking group, or even with a discussion group or anything like that. So we do the get acquainted call. There is what I call an interview with Rhonda that I send out prior to that. It's prep for the call. It answers a lot of frequently asked questions. And then I work with them about 5 or 6 questions. We delve into what's really going on, what they want to work on, how soon they might want to get started, how quickly they would like to see results, and then see if it's really a good fit for both of us, because I definitely don't want to waste anybody's time or money, and I want it to be a good fit for both of us.
So is this a long-term relationship working with you, or are there some people that just have a couple of sessions with you and they're off to the races?
So that's a really good question, Denise. I have a couple of different options. One is what I call a stress buster relief month program that is where we specifically address stress and overwhelm going on. And then I have other coaching programs that are a 1 month, a 3 month, and a 6 month program, and that encompasses the health and the lifestyle aspects that we would address. And so it really depends on where they are, what their number one priority is right now, and that would depend on what my recommendation would be for them, for us to work together if that's a good fit.
So is it like a monthly face-to-face, a internet call? How frequently in a month?
So just like what you and I are doing right now, we have 3 calls, personal calls that we work together, coach, client together. Obviously, the 3-month program is 9 calls. The 6-month program is 18 calls over that. And I do 3 weeks with a week off, just because it's nice to have time to implement, to reassess, to reevaluate, and kind of be able to just, I guess, implement everything that we've talked about over the month.
And they're doing their homework between those phone calls.
They are, yes. There's homework, there's reading, there are some assessments that they do so that it leads us into the next call or into the next month. So my best value and my most frequent program, purchase program, is the 3-month program. And it works really well because in the 3 months, we talk about the 3 assets, the finances, the legal rights, and the health, and over those 3 months. And it takes some time to really address those. It's not something that can happen in a quick 30 minutes.
So what prompted you to go this direction?
That's a really good question. So I've been a health coach for, 15 years. And I added the lifestyle portion back in 2016, 2017, and really expanded my business model then, because my husband in 2015 was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And so he had surgery, and followed by several serious complications in 2016. And so it was really an observation of everything. And I'll back up just a second there. I say we had 4 months to prepare for his surgery, and I say we are a smart, intelligent couple. We did not have all of our T's crossed nor our I's dotted, and most people don't. And I learned a lot on the fly. He was in a coma for 32 of those days. So I was making a lot of decisions and learning a lot day by day. And I really felt like honestly, the universe, spirit, whatever you want to call that entity, did not put me in that situation just to learn all that information and keep it to myself.
Right.
So that's why I speak to audiences now, and even my book encompasses the whole story and my perspective of what happened to my husband and how decisions were made, what decisions were made, and his recovery. So that was really when I added the lifestyle portion, because our lifestyle changed dramatically.
Yeah.
And most people's lives do change when there's a health trauma that goes on. And it doesn't even have to be a health trauma. It can be a major game changer. It can be a game changer with work, whatever, anything that impacts our lifestyle.
Well, kudos to you for seeing that there were lessons in it when you were going through it. And what a blessing is that he is home with you and, well on his way to full recovery, if not at it already. And I think the best coaches that I have met are those, they're coaches, number one, because they went through it. They went through something, or a member of their family went through something, and they knew that they learned something that they can help someone else and guide them through this similar type of feelings and emotions, if not the exact same type of situation. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
And so stress is a big part of it when you're going through, and that's why they're seeking you out initially, I'm sure. So is there one trick that you like to share with people about how to reduce stress when you're all tied up?
My trick that I used and that I recommend often is writing in a gratitude journal. It causes us to spend 5-10 minutes a day writing down what we're grateful for, what we're thankful for. And it doesn't have to be you don't have to be a journalist to write. You can do bullet points. And so that was the practice I used, because it allowed me to recognize the positive things that were going on, and what I call, with my book title, God winks, the little God winks that were happening on a daily basis, and sometimes multiple times a day, that turned into miracles that happened in my husband's life, and consequently in our lives.
So explain what a God wink is.
A God wink is an event that happens that leads, and it can be a series of events that lead to a larger miracle, or an angel working with us. So, a perfect example would be there was a serious virus spreading throughout the hospital, and the nurse who I had to, one day when I walked in, I had to gown up, glove up, mask up.
Oh, that's scary. That's very scary.
It is scary because it happens all of a sudden, and last night was fine and this morning it's not. And I said, what is going on? And so the nurse said, we're testing your husband. He doesn't have any of the symptoms. I can't officially tell you that. But she says, we are testing everyone, and we'll know tomorrow, and you'll know, you'll get a call that he's okay or he's not okay. And so it was one of those things. I had a very open relationship and conversation going on with the nurses and the doctors at the time. And so I kind of felt like that was a God wink for me not to panic. And that she was like, it's just part of our process. Don't worry about it. Worry about it if it's something more serious. And, 24 hours later, everything was fine. And because she said that to me, and I really took it to heart, that I didn't panic. I didn't worry over the next 24 hours. I'm like, if something serious is happening, we'll deal with it then. And there were a lot of those that happened in our particular situation. And I say there are a lot of those that happen on a daily basis. Another great example of a God wink is when you're driving down the road and you chose to turn right and go down this road that you've never gone down ever or not in a while. And lo and behold, there's an accident on the other road where you would have been. I call that a God wink. It's like a quick little premonition that you pay attention to.
And what you're really teaching is people to pay attention to these little things that happen in their life and be grateful for them. Have that gratitude for it.
Yes, because I'm a firm believer that the more God winks, the more little miniature miracles that happen, and you pay attention to them, the larger ones that you recognize as well. It's kind of a build-up, a series to the larger miracles that happen.
And I think those are really important. And I encourage all of those who are watching this video to just pay attention to those, and even put them in your gratitude journal when you see them, so that you can reflect back on them. I had a God wink this morning where I had become very public about my life, and celebrated a big day yesterday, and I wanted to be public about it, and in the hopes of encouraging and helping people with it. And that this morning I received a private message from someone whose mother passed away last night from that very illness that had taken over my life. And just her words to me was just, please keep preaching this, Denise. And that was a God wink. It was not a God wink that her mother passed away, obviously, but it was a God wink that I happened to speak up at that moment when she needed to hear it and find the good in her mom as opposed to illness.
I think, too, it's really paying attention to those God winks that happen in our personal life, because things, obviously, life goes on and things happen around us. But the more that we can pay attention to them personally, the more grateful, the grateful we can be. And I say it leads to more joy and happiness in our lives.
Oh, absolutely.
When you focus on the positive versus the negative, because people can very definitely focus on the negative, and I don't teach that. I want people to focus on the positive. In fact, somebody asked me a fun fact not too long ago, and I said, I'm fiercely positive.
You are. That's what I like about you.
and stuff. And so, some clients come to me and they aren't used to that practice. That's a simple practice to start with. It's like, start with 2 or 3 things that you're grateful for every day. And they can be as simple as, I've got a roof over my head, I've got gas in my car, and the sun is shining, to start with. And then they can grow into larger moments of gratitude that you have.
There were times in my life where I was feeling less than abundant, but I had a full tank of gas. And so finding gratitude, because that felt like it was the richest thing in my world. So I appreciate you even saying those words. So where does one find your book? Because it is inspirational. And yes, everyone, I picked it up at her launch party and I read it.
So I'm going to show it to you really quickly.
Yes.
Here it is. God winks and miracles happen. So I will share with you how to find it in a second. The title of my book is A God Wink. I was working with the editor, publisher, and I was telling her about the context of the book. And she goes, I think you just need to call it God Winks and Miracles Happen. Why overthink this? And so that's how it got titled. It is available on Amazon.com. And it's also available on my website, so the WELLthyPeople.com, and that's spelled WELLthy.
Well, that is a perfect intro for me to share your website.
See, it says right there, God Winks book.
Yes, I happen to have it up, so that's an awesome thing. So here is Rhonda's website. The WELLthy, remember, it's WELLthy people.com. And if you click over to the, you see a tab for the God Winks book, but you can also click over to the contact tab and communicate with Rhonda that way as well. So I encourage you to go to her website. So that was perfect timing, Rhonda.
It was a God wink, right?
It was a God wink. I love it. So, I'm always amazed at how quickly time flies when I'm doing these. So what would you like to share that we have not covered about your work or anything else?
Well, I'm a huge advocate in getting my message out to large audiences. One of my main goals is to really speak to larger audiences and share with them how to protect their assets, because it's just that vitally important. And so I'm available as a speaker to various groups. Those groups tend to be entrepreneurs and or business owners, faith-based organizations, and then health-based organizations. And so, you need a speaker for a program, I'm available. Just reach out to me. I book my speaking gigs directly. So I just want to put that out there, that I'm here to serve and to help people in a variety of ways, and that's one of them as well.
Now, I would like to clarify one thing, that you are in Highlands Ranch, Colorado, which is a suburb of Denver for those who are unfamiliar. But you take clients from anywhere.
I take clients from anywhere, and my ultimate goal with my speaking is to be national.
Yay.
Yeah. So I'm open to, traveling and speaking anywhere, really in the United States. And the reason I say that for the speaking is because I focus on the U.S. healthcare system and how we kind of had to figure our way through that. That doesn't necessarily translate into other countries. It can, but not necessarily. But I work with people from all over the world. Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm going to share one more website with our audience here, and this is the You Define Wellness website. And I encourage you to go over there and take a look at it. It is you as in YOU, definewellness.com. And there you can find our provider directory. And just so you know, if you're watching this in early 2019, we are expanding nationwide. In fact, I'm talking on the global stage just next week to the Global Workplace Wellness Summit. So who knows how big we're going to be very, very soon here. But if you're looking for a wellness professional, you can certainly find it there. We have a ton of resources for you. And if you're a wellness professional watching this, reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. So, Rhonda, this was fun. Thank you. I'm so glad that we could talk.
Well, and I want to say too, Denise, is I really appreciate your vision for You Define Wellness, because it is so important to know what alternative and complementary care options are and how we can marry them or not marry them with Western or Eastern medicine. So I think having the plethora of options and you having the provider network helps people kind of navigate making those decisions.
Thank you. You know, our goal is to have alternative, complementary, and holistic health and wellness care to coexist and sit side by side with medical insurance. We don't want it integrated in. There's a lot of reasons for it, and that's the world that I came from. And so that's not what we want, but we do want to coexist so that people understand that they have multiple options and give them access to people like you, because you're not included in the medical plans.
No.
So this is a way for them to participate both at as an employee benefit program, and coming very soon, we'll have an option for individuals, retirees, and self-employed to participate.
Yay. Good. So, I'm excited. Good.
You and me both. So thank you, Rhonda, for being with me today. And thank you all for joining us for another Apple a Day webinar. Just go to our Facebook page at You Define Wellness on Facebook and search for us. And you can find a list of events that we have coming up, many of which are online webinars as well. Again, thank you. Have a great day, everyone.